least that's what they used to call me. Wrestle
Hey,
Vessel,
Phil, this
where
is
you...
the Wrestlevessel.
All right, go ahead. What?
Speaking of your wellness policy,
It's not my wellness policy. It's the WWE's.
WWF, they've had that since
WW,
1991.
hey, dude, man. Back in, hey, shush. Back in the early 90s, when I was with them, it was WWF. I think today they call it WWE.
Alright, man. I know it's called today. I just don't call it WWF because it's really what it is. They were just sued for the World Wildlife Foundation.
All right.
They've had this thing going on since 91, though. Why can't they get their thing together, get their act together, you know?
What do you mean? We talking about the name of the wellness policy?
The whole wellness policy. Vince has been doing this for like 17 years, and he still can't get any control. These guys are still taking steroids.
What's your gripe with it? What's your gripe with it, though? You're saying the whole thing's a sham?
Yeah, look, Helmsley gets away with it just because he marries the boss's daughter. It's a bunch of bullshit. What do you think?
Well, watch your language. We're not on a delay or anything, and there might be toddlers listening. In any event, if these guys are taking growth hormone, right, and this is what I've been talking about all along. I'm not saying steroids are bad, all right? I think steroids are okay, but I think what they should do is allow the older guys to take steroids. I mean, I saw on TV a couple of nights ago, or maybe a week ago, there was a match with Jim Duggan. I forget who he was tag teaming with. He was tag teaming.
Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, two old guys. But I mean, okay, at least Lawler, all right, he has a little sympathy, a little compassion for the audience, and he wears a singlet. But Jim Duggan, he's out there with, he's wearing Hooters shorts, silk shorts. Well, he looks like a Hooters girl, right? And the gravity is taking its toll. He's not a young guy, he's obviously not taking steroids. But I mean, he's like an old guy, and it's scary, man. It's very, very scary, and I don't know what kind of future, what kind of impact that's going to have on young kids, how it's going to affect their lives in the future, because it was a very visually frightening thing, and I saw it on TV. Imagine being there in person. Now, somebody like Jim Duggan, for instance, if the WWE wanted me to come back, right? First of all, I'm going to say, listen, man, I'm 50 years old. Even though I'm in still pretty good shape, but I'm 50 years old, and you don't want me going out there and looking scary. I'm not going to go out there like Jim Duggan. So allow me to take steroid tablets and allow me to get it prescribed from a doctor, because, as you know, there's a lot of these designer steroids out there, and so they're always one step ahead of these tests because, the tests can't really detect them because they're new. But these things, I talked to a friend of mine, these things are being whipped up in Europe and in Mexico in people's bathtubs. So with these designer steroids, people, they don't even know what they're taking because they're afraid of being tested. So whether or not you're a civil servant worker, because a lot of companies are testing for this stuff now. So what I say is allow an older guy to take steroids. This way he has the same testosterone level as a young guy. So if Jim Duggan's going to be in the ring against those two young guys in their 20s, allow him to have the same amount of steroid levels, testosterone levels in his system, so that he can at least compete on a fair plane. I think that evens the playing field, so he has the same testosterone levels as young guys, and he won't look so unsightly. Now, that's what I think about the steroids. But do you have any other problems with them? I guess with alcohol abuse or drug abuse and all that kind of stuff, or you think they turn a blind eye?
I think they just try to make an example out of certain wrestlers. They let the bigger name guys get away with it. Someone like Helmsley or Undertaker, because they're the bigger names, and they can get away with things more than some of the younger guys who don't have the chance yet.
Well, I read something.
There's a lot of politics.
Everything's politics, but I read something online today in terms of their policy. The first offense, they don't fine. I think they fine you, and maybe they suspend you. I don't know if it's a warning. The second offense is like 30 to 60 days without pay. And then maybe the third one, I guess the penalties become more severe. Now, didn't The Undertaker just have some time off?
Yeah, he just took some time off because probably more injuries or something like that. I don't know exactly.
We don't know. Or maybe he wanted to take time off. So that maybe he thought, well, he's going to... We don't know. We don't know because we don't know. We're not working for them. The only people that know is probably Vince, a couple of office guys. I don't think everybody's going to know. And Undertaker. So we don't know why he left. So, and maybe he's not even being tested. It may have nothing to do with that. It may have something to do with that. But the whole thing with pro wrestling being so secretive, and it all went back to the days of kayfabe, and, watch out for everybody. You look after me, I look after you. Everyone's a mark. That's what all the boys that's what all the boys thought about everybody. Everyone's a mark if you're not in the locker room. Me, I'm a mark because I'm not in the locker room. But that's the whole secretive nature about pro wrestling. And I think that's still continuing. And because that so-called tradition is still always going to be a part of the business. It's not full disclosure, not like, for the most part, I think maybe 95%. There's full disclosure in basketball, baseball, football, but in wrestling, we don't know. We don't know because you still got that old kayfabe tradition. So, I think their intentions are good. But in a sense, I think what you're saying is that ultimately it's going to be the dollar bill that's going to dictate how severe or how strict they're going to run a certain policy. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
No, you didn't say it. I just had to say it. I had to. Anyway, thanks for the call. See, people taking credit for my ideas. I'm the one who said that, and he took credit for it. Why'd he do something like that? Anyway, it's 9:38. I tell you what. I'm going to I got to go get some courage. Let me take a little break.